Hi Adrian, I'm Janvi. I'm a data analyst and a podcast host. Welcome to Decoding Data
Hi,
Analytics
Janvi.
and Data Universe. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It was the end of a very nice and very full 2 days.
Definitely. So much to learn and grow and network, definitely.
100%.
So let's skill some buzzwords in the simplest manner. Okay? So there's a new buzzwords going around in the market for a long time, but still not adopted by a lot of companies, which is data mesh and data fabric.
Yeah.
So let's break that down.
Get rid of the buzzwords. We're going to demystify the buzzwords.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say to demystify or to get rid of the buzzwords. First and foremost, whether you're thinking about a mesh or a fabric, all that really matters, you're trying to make data simple for people.
Okay.
I think a mesh maybe go a bit further in terms of process and culture.
Okay, let's say what is data mesh? Let's first start with that.
Ooh, let me give you an explanation as if I were talking to a business person.
Okay.
And if I were talking to an architect, that would be a very complicated, painful discussion.
Yeah.
If I were talking to a business person, I would say, all we're trying to do is find data anywhere in the company and enable you, the consumer, to get that data and use it and find tools that will allow you to do and solve whatever problems you're trying to solve. Data mesh in simple terms for a business person is about self-service. It's about simplicity. In simple terms, that's all that matters for the business.
And is it something which is built on top of the data lakehouse in a data warehouse?
Yeah, I think you think of a mesh more as an abstraction layer.
Okay.
And so when I talk about making it simple for the business, I'm making it simple because I don't care anymore about the warehouse. I don't care anymore about what cloud it's in. I don't care anymore what country it's in.
Yeah.
All I know is that I've created with the mesh an abstraction layer with data products. So the business team can just think about the data they understand, the data they want to use, and they no longer have to think about exactly where the data came from anymore. So I would eliminate those architecture terms when I'm talking mesh because there's just architecture words.
And how exactly it helps business? Because they want to, hear it in terms of numbers and revenue.
Right.
And ROAS. So how exactly is the return on investment for them?
It's about speed, right? And what business teams care about right now, especially on the data side, is the speed of delivery. I once had somebody tell me, your approach is 2 months faster. So if I can think about that, you're like, wow, we think about query speed in terms of seconds. Somebody says you're 2 months faster. Like, what do you mean I'm 2 months faster? From a business perspective, your ability to deliver a project, your ability to deliver an insight, that's the time that matters, right? That saves money, that drives faster decisions, that creates a better outcome for the business, a bigger impact for the business. So when you think about measuring mesh success, that's the first metric of success. Have I made it faster for the business? Wow.
And what is data fabric?
Again, I would try really hard not to give a different definition. Everything that I just told you for mesh could be fabric. Right? And the reason I say that is because I have companies that have a nice fabric include everything I just described for the mesh. And they call that a fabric, right? So I wish you could just get rid of those words altogether. Academically, if somebody compares a fabric to a mesh, there's some very strong academic differences. But in practice, when teams are trying to be successful, all they really care about is something that works.
So it's the underlying structure which is similar.
I think
or on an outer layer it's similar.
Fabric and mesh are both trying to solve the same problem. They're trying to make data from a lot of different places available to a consumer. There's a slightly different approach to how they do it, but fundamentally that's the problem they're trying to solve. A lot of vendors and a lot of different people might try to twist those stories and say fabric says this or mesh says that, but
I heard different definitions in all the sessions. So.
The only definition that matters is I want to find a way to deliver data faster to my business. I don't care what you call that, fabric or a mesh. It's a process, there's infrastructure, there's people involved to make that happen.
So there are many companies who have already invested in data lakehouse, data warehouse, so much more are coming. And companies do want first mover advantage, but there's always risk involved with that. So where does the data fabric and data mesh comes into the picture?
It's a great question because the first part of that question is the part that's important. They've already invested, right? So if they've invested in data warehouses, they probably are struggling now with the ROI on that investment because that becomes really, really expensive. So the lesson learned there is you're probably not going to get all my data into a warehouse. The second lesson learned is there's no way that I can think of a single data model or structure that's going to make everybody happy. I need to be able to be agile and structure data in different ways for different people. So let's talk about an early risk or what the risk of early adoption is. There's no really risk of early adoption. Really, what we're trying to do now is actually resolve some of the issues we've created, right? And so the risk is, if I keep going the way that I'm going, I'm not going to be able to afford the solution.
Yeah.
The resolution is stop and reset. Stop moving data into warehouses.
Yeah.
Start leveraging the data where it sits. I can still leverage my warehouses. I can still leverage my lakes. All I'm trying to do is do that today without trying to spend any more money on migration.
Wow, that's amazing. And how exactly Starburst comes into the picture and resolves the entire thing?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would say we didn't talk about data products, but that's a different session we'll do. I think what Starburst does first and foremost is we've built great data products.
Yeah.
Because of our technology and the way that we work, we can, in a very high performant, very cost efficient way. We would say we're the most cost efficient. We get the best cost for performance in the marketplace with Starburst. So we build data products that are sustainable, and we don't have to move data. We allow you to build those data products from wherever that data sits. If that data sits in a lake, Starburst on the lake gives you incredible performance. You would say, I used to have to move into a warehouse to get that speed. I can get that speed out of the lake today.
Wow, and the data security is also taken care of.
100%. Again, and data security is not easy. I mean, and I'd say it's 100% taken care of. I would say, first and foremost, we can leverage the security as a source.
Yeah.
And we also have layers of security that we built into Starburst as well, whether that's payback or RBAC.
Wow.
It's tricky. Security is tricky. Security is tricky for sure, for everybody.
Definitely. So much. It was great talking to you.
Well, if you like the podcast, do subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more episodes.